Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaye Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Namah Pranavarthaye Shuddha Jnanaikamurtaye Nirmalaya Prashantaye Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Bhadram Karni Shunyama Devaha Bhadram Pashye Makshabhir Yajatraha Tirairangai Shastuvagam Sastanubhi Yashema Devahi Tayyadayuhu Swastina Indro Vruddhashvavaha Swastina Pusha Vishwavedaha Swastina Stakshyo Arishtanemihi Swastino Brahaspatir Dadhatu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I notice that all the videos are switched off. Can you please switch it on unless there's a technical problem of some kind? This is, as it is, a second best medium. I can't get any feedback, or at least minimal feedback, even if the video is on. The video is off, I get no feedback. I don't even know whether what I'm saying making sense to others. Please keep your video on if you can. I know Dr. Viswanathan Mahalingam has a problem. He's told me. I know Atreya has an issue. The others, please try and keep the video on. Na karmana na prajaya dhanena
न कर्मणा न प्रजया धनेन
tyage naike amritattvamanashuhu
त्यागे नैके अमृतत्वमानशुः
parena nakam nihitam guhayam
परेण नाकं निहितं गुहायां
vibrajate yadyatayo vishanti
विभ्राजते यद्यतयो विशन्ति
vedanta vijnana sunishchitarthaha
वेदान्तविज्ञानसुनिश्चितार्थाः
Sannyasa yogat yataya shuddha sattvaha
संन्यासयोगाद्यतयः शुद्धसत्त्वाः
te brahma lokeshu parantakale
ते ब्रह्मलोकेषु परान्तकाले
paramritat parimucyanti sarve.
परामृतात् परिमुच्यन्ति सर्वे
Those who can understand the valuelessness of karma, praja, dhanam, ityadi, gain amritattva. We saw this earlier. Not by dhana, not by karma, but by understanding that that is not going to give you amritattva. And people who are able to understand this and therefore give no value to these, they gain amritattva. Then we saw Parena nakam nihitam guhayam vibrajate yadyatayo vishanti. The word vishanti, enter. When you study this, 3 questions are likely to come to the mind. Who are these people who are able to understand the valuelessness of karma ityadi and therefore give up? Then what do they do to give them up? Who are these people? The second question that arises in this context: if they gain something, anashuhu, praptavantaha, then you can lose it also. And the third question is, vishanti, they enter, and then they can come out also. Or are they in a prison-like structure? They can go in and can't come back. These words can be confusing. When you say you give up karma ityadi, 2 ways you can give it up. I don't understand moksha yet, but I know it is something to be gained. And I also understand that karma is not the way to get it, because Shastra says so. But I have to do a lot of karma. I have undertaken a lot of responsibility. So one way of giving up karma, etc., is to say that I offer it to Ishvara. I give up karma. I continue to do karma. What changes is my attitude? I do karma not as a karta. I am a karta anyway, but I do it as an offering to Ishvara only. I am not a karta. I am not the karta. This is one level of giving up. This is what karma yogi would do. Other level of karma tyaga is the absolute clarity that this karma is not what is going to gain me what I really want. I give up karma and I also give up karma phala. In the first case also he gives a karma phala. That also he offers Ishvara. It is Ishvara. Here I understand karma is nothing to do with me. Karma phala has nothing to do with me. So that person, such a person is a sannyasi. So all these questions are addressed in the next verse. Vedanta Vijnana Sunishchitarthaha Sannyasa Yogat Yatayaha Shuddha Sattvaha. These are the people. How do I give up karma? Yagena eke amritattvam anushuhu. can I give up karma? So I said two methods. Bhagavan, lokesmin dvividha nishtha. I can give up karma. Who are the people who can do that? Vedanta Vijnana Sunichitarthaha Sannyasa Yogat Yatayaha Shuddha Sattvaha. Sannyasa Yogat. Panchami, by doing something, by something. Sarva Karma Parityaga Lakshana Yogat. Kartarya says, I have sent you in the group the Bhashyam of Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya has not written Bhashyam for Kaivalya Upanishad. But the same verse appears in Mundaka Upanishad. What I have sent you is from Mundaka Upanishad. Shankaracharya says, Sarva Karma Parityaga Lakshana Yogat. Lakshana Yogat. It could be either way. The Lakshana is there. Lakshyartha. Whether you are a karma yogi or a sannyasi, you give up karma and all that comes from there. Praja, dhana, whatever else. Sarva karma parityaga lakshana yoga. So continues to say, Kevala Brahmanishta Swarupat Yoga. With the clarity that Brahman is what I am trying to understand. Kevala Brahmanishta Swarupat Yoga. Yoga is important here. That is the effort, the method. By this kind of sannyasa yoga, a person gains a status of a sannyasi. The sannyasi is one who has understood that the karma I do is not going to give me ātmatattva. Therefore, he either totally gives up karma and karma phala, saying, I know I have to gain this jnanam of the nature of Brahman, which Shastra says is my nature as well. So he focuses entirely on this. To do this, Shastra gives us a very good method. Shastra says, I will absolve you of all karma. Otherwise, karma is prescribed. You have to do all the Vedika karma, all the Agni karma. But as a sannyasi, you don't do any Agni karma. As a sannyasi, there is no question of incurring papa. In the other ashramas, if I don't do the karma, some people will argue that you gain papa. Shankaracharya argues that's not true. What you won't gain is punya. Which punya is required for you to gain that knowledge, to get prepared for, therefore you will not be ready. Big loss. Therefore, karma has to be done. Nitya, naimitya karma has to be done. If you don't do those karma, all your daily puja, daily sandhya vandanam, daily agnihotradi, you don't gain any papa, you don't incur any papa. But unless that shuddhi comes in the self, it is very difficult to get the mind ready, mind tranquil, to be able to do shravanam, absorb what is being said, do mananam, genuinely see how whatever else I had has a flaw somewhere. That's sannyasa yoga. As a sannyasi, Shastra gives you specific rituals by which you take to sannyasa and say, my life is dedicated, whatever left of that, only to gain the jnana. I am a jignasu. I, on the other hand, may not be in a position to give up all karma. Like a sannyasi who doesn't have any prescriptive karma to be done, I will also do all karma, but now I will not take the onus. I dedicate my karma to Ishvara because I know my goal is moksha. And whatever results come, that also I don't take ownership. These words have been taken with a little bit of care. People will argue, if you don't take responsibility for your karma, and if you don't take responsibility for your karma phala, the world will be in chaos. You can't stand in the dock in a court after having committed a crime and say, I didn't do it. I don't take responsibility either for the karma or for the karma phala. Court of law won't accept it. But the understanding, the clarity with which you do that karma, with which you accept the karma phala. Why? Because I know this is not going to yield the result that I need. That kind of karma yoga, the effort that you make in the direction, as a sannyasi or as a karma yogi, makes you yati, a sannyasi. Either an ochre wearing sannyasi who has given up the karma with clear knowledge that he needs to get moksha, and that is not going to come from karma. But he's already done enough to get the level of Atma Shuddhi required for him to gain that knowledge. Or you are a yati in a broader sense, that I have my clear target as moksha. But these are things I have to do. I do. But I do it as an offering to Ishvara. Therefore, yatayaha, those people who put in the right effort. You put in an effort to come first in the class. Also effort, also yatna. but with a clear objective of coming first in the class. You put in an effort to know the theory of relativity. You have to put in effort. You have to prepare yourself. Unless you know some basics, you can't even understand what it is. Therefore, you make an effort. Therefore, you're also yatna shilaha. But yatna shilaha with a very limited goal. He says, sannyasa yogat yatayaha. With that clarity, with that whatever I do, whatever effort I make, is toward gaining moksha. Sannyasa yogat also shuddha sattva. The sattva is atma shuddhi, chitta shuddhi. A very absolutely necessary condition to gain knowledge. For sannyasa yogat yatayaha shuddha sattvaha. What is that? How do you purify Atma? There is only one prescription. And that is, do not let raga and dvesha be the driving force. Raga and dvesha will drive you to short-term ends. So, Atma Shuddhi is that state in which I also get raga, I also have dvesha, but they are without their sting. They have no power to do anything to me. Their fangs have been pulled out. They can't hurt me. Hurt me means what? They can't take me away from my goal. That is the sattva. I don't let raga dvesha dictate to me. And I do that by taking an attitude. Okay? Moksha is my goal. Ishvara is a concept I understand. I made an effort to understand. Therefore, whatever I do is only what is kartavyam, not what is driven by raga. In doing the kartavyam, I get some limited sukha, I enjoy. I'm not going to throw it away. Just because I have to throw raga dvesha out, I go to bhiksha to somebody's house, and he gives me my favorite dish. You don't have to do that. It is raga dvesha without a sting. Sannyasa yogat yatayaha shuddha sattvaha. So, who are the people who can do what was said in the previous verse? Tyagena eke ātmatattvam manashuhu. How do they get this? These people, who else, what else is their guna, what else is their characteristic? Vedanta Vijnana Shunishchitarthaha. They are people who have made an effort to understand what Vedanta says. Vedanta Janita Vijnanam is Vedanta Vijnanam. Tasya Arthaha, the meaning of that, Sunishchitarthaha. Those who have ascertained without a doubt the meaning of those sentences of Vedanta. Vedanta says Tattvamasi. Vedanta says there is aikyam, oneness between Ishvara and you. You are Ishvara, Ishvara is you. That jnanam, Vedanta Janita Vijnanam, Vishesha Jnanam, we saw that yesterday, of the nature of the self. Sunishchitartha. I have learned what Shastra says. I had enough punya to go to classes. I had enough punya to have a guru. The guru says, the Vishesha Jnanam that you need to know about yourself is that you are everything. Tattvamasi. Sounds logical, it sounds sensible at one level. If I am everything, if I am Ishvara, after the class, when I go back, and the wife says, go and bring some kottamalli, some other thing, 4 or 5 other things. I come back, I forget one thing. Such a forgetful person, very useless. 4 things I tell you to bring, you can't bring all 4, you bring only 3. All that I thought I knew about myself as Ishvara has gone. Sunishchitartha. Despite all this, despite the things that happen around you, I have clarity of what Vedanta says is my Vishesha Jnanam about myself. Otherwise, every time somebody insults me, I'm upset. Somebody praises me, I'm elated. Bhagavad Gita tells you all the answers. In both conditions, you are maintaining your equanimity. How? Only through Vedanta Vijnana Sunishchitartha. Only those who have that can maintain that equilibrium. Vedanta Janita Jnanam, Vijnanam in this case, Sunishchita Arthaha, Dastasya Arthaha, Sunishchita. Perfectly ascertained. That means Mananam has been done. All the wrong notions have been removed. All those that people tell me, Buddhist tells me, Nayayika tells me, all that I examine, they sound logical on the face of it, but when I go through it with a little care, I do some mimamsa, I see where the difficulty is. Sunishchitartha. So one question is answered. Who are these people? ātmatattva manushuhu. So in the first line, there's a descriptive of the people who gain this knowledge, who gain amritattva. There's another question. Will they come back to being in samsara? There is a very good thing given in the previous verse itself. Those people, parena nakam nihitam guhayam vibhrajate yadyatayo vishanti. Those people, parena nakam. Nakam we saw was Swargaloka. Na akam, where there is no dukkha. It is not that they go to Swargaloka or any other loka, higher loka. Because every loka you go to with a passport and a visa. And unfortunately, this visa, which is your punya karma, is a single entry visa. You don't even get multiple entry visa. Single entry visa for 6 months. At the end of 6 months, you will be deported from Swargaloka or any other loka. You have only a single entry visa. Oh, but it was so nice. There was only Sukha there. I would like to go back. No, go back. Get a new visa. New visa is more punya you learn. It is like saying, I want to go for a holiday to Kodaikanal or to Hawaii. You need enough foreign exchange. These days, it's not such a problem in India, but there was a time when you got $20. They'll write on your passport. They don't do $20. My old passport still has number of those entries. So you go again, you earn more punya, you earn the right to have another visa. This time perhaps to another loka. How does that help? They parena nakam. They go beyond nakam. Nakam is Swargaloka. That means Swargaloka is a loka of sukha. You go there, enjoy the sukha with your current visa, come back at the end of the visa expiry period. He says, parena nakam. You go to another state where there is no limit put. Parena nakam. I made a statement. You go to another state. There is no going. You are Ananda Swarupa. Where do you want to go? We saw in Kaivalya Upanishad, wherever you go, you're always there. You are everything. You are Sarva Vyapi. But you limit yourself. Not recognize your Sarva Vyapitham. It's Parena Nakam. Come back to this verse. Here also use the word Paramrita. Para is absolute. Amrita. Absolute Amrita. absolute ātmatattva. There is no, once it's absolute, there's no question of return. Paramritaha. Te, paramrita means, but then you recognize your state as sarvavyapi Brahman. Therefore, he says, paramrita, in the Bhashyam he says, Param Amritam Amarana Dharmakam Brahmatma Bhutam Yesham Te. Paramritaha. Param Amritam Amarana Dharmakam. That which never has an end. Amarana Dharmakam. Param Amritam Brahmatma Bhutam Yesham Te. For whom that Amritattvam is without a time factor. Remember, when a person reaches a state of gaining of that knowledge, he also understands that time is created. There's no time there. Therefore, the Amritattvam, unlike Svargaloka Ityadi, cannot end. What is within time only has a starting point and end point. What creates time itself can neither have a starting point nor an end point. But Swami G, you said, I become Brahman. No, you don't become Brahman. You are Brahman. You were Brahman. The difference is, now I know. So there's no starting. It is just a recognition of my nature as Brahman. Paramritaha. Te sarve, Paramrita is non-separate from Brahman. Same as Brahman. Te sarve, those people, all of them, who Sannyasa Yogat Yataha Suddha Sattvaha Vedanta Vijnana Sunishchitarthaha, all of those people, Te Sarve Parantakale. We have seen in many places Antakala. When a person gives up the Sthula Sharira, what happens to that person? The Sthula Sharira is destroyed. It goes back to Panchabhuta. But he has two other Sharira. A Sukshma Sharira and a Karana Sharira. Be very careful with this word Sharira. Sthula Sharira, we have an idea. Head, torso, hands, legs, etc. Sharira actually comes from the root dhatu, true, to destroy, to be destroyed. That which will be destroyed. But when the person that we know of dies normal maranam, what is destroyed is the Sthula Sharira alone. What happens to the Sukshma Sharira and the Karana Sharira? The Sukshma Karana Sharira and Karana Sharira go on a travel, searching for another Sthula Sharira. And that Sthula Sharira they gain based on what Punya Papa Karma they have in their store. So now this time the Manushya, after giving up this body, can either become another Manushya Sharira or can become an animal sharira, or a plant sharira, or can gain deva sharira, depending on the punya papa available. So the sukshma sharira and the karma sharira continue. What happens at the time of pralaya? Every being here loses not only the sthula sharira, but also the sukshma sharira. At the time of pralaya, you lose both the sthula sharira and the sukshma sharira. But the karana sharira becomes avyakta in that advitiya Brahman. And because the karana sharira is there, sthula sharira, sukshma sharira reappear. This happens to us every day. Every day there is laya. That laya is when you go to sleep. Sthula sharira becomes avyakta, sukshma sharira becomes avyakta, except prana, it continues. Karana sharira is still around. So you get back the same sukshma sharira and same sthula sharira to continue to experience prarabdha dharma. These are all only antakala. Bhagavad Gita also uses the word antakala. When you give up the sthula sharira. And when do you give the sthula sharira? When the prarabdha karma has got exhausted. The sukshma sharira and the karana sharira go and collect one more set of prarabdha. But here the word used is parantakale. Acharya explains very clearly when you read the Bhashyam. When a person has understood the real nature of the self as Brahman, Vedanta Vijnana Sunishchitartha, has recognized himself as Brahman. But the Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira continue. He is a Mukta Purusha. But Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira continue. Because Prarabdha is still baki. You have to get rid of that Prarabdha also. So even somebody like Puja Swami G went through a lot of physical troubles toward the end. He may be Jnani. There is no connection with the Sharira. But he has to go through that. Till that is exhausted. Then what happens? When that is exhausted, no Sthula Sharira, no Sukshma Sharira, no Karana Sharira. What is Karana Sharira? The very cause of this Sthula Sukshma Sharira is Karana Sharira, which is also called Ajnanam. No Ajnanam, no Sukshma Sharira, no Sthula Sharira. Such a state, he says, Parantakale. This state is called Videha Mukti. The person is a Jivan Mukta. He got that knowledge. The body continues, Sukshma Sharira continues, till the Prarabdha is exhausted, and the Deha is gone, or Videha Mukti. No coming back. No Karana Sharira. Why do you come back? How will you come back? No Karana Sharira. If we understand Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Karana Sharira, these become very clear. Parantakale te Brahmalokeshu. There's some debate on this. Shankaracharya makes it very clear. Brahmaloka is like another loka, any other loka, except there's a possibility that one can go to Brahmaloka because of the punya gained in this janma. From the Brahmaloka, two things can happen. Brahmaloka is considered the highest loka, highest form of sukha. But this highest form of sukha is also limited sukha. So two things can happen. Either you exhaust that punya, shine punye, come back. Or Swami G can teach you. Here, who is teaching Arshavidyalaya? Swami G. And what will he teach? Tattva. So you can gain that moksha from Brahmaloka. But why do you want to go all the way, struggle, create punya, go to Brahmaloka, sit there, and maybe I will get, maybe I won't get. Available here. That Brahmaloka cannot apply here. So, Acharya says, Brahmalokeshu means Brahma eva lokaha. Brahman is that. Te parantakale Brahmalokeshu. Very smart fellow will get up to that. Swami G, Brahmalokeshu is plural. Bahuvachanam. If you say Brahma eva loka, then how can there be many Brahma lokas? Acharya addresses this also. Yes, people gain this knowledge at different times in different places. Therefore, he says appropriate to use Bahuvachanam, plural. Brahmalokeshu. Brahma eva loka. In that state, in that clarity of understanding, Brahmalokeshu. Parimuchyanti. Comes from the much dhatu, freed. Freed of what? Freed of the sense of limitation. Without leaving a trace. One example that, again, the Bhashyam Shankaracharya gives is, like a bird flying in the sky does not leave a trace. At least modern day jets will leave a jet stream. You can see the white jet stream. No trace. It is not like the Jiva is merging with Brahman. That's the wrong way of understanding. That Jiva recognizes Brahmatvam. Again, there are two very beautiful examples that are given for this. you have Ghatakasha, the space within a Ghata. That Ghatakasha space is different from the Akasha, big space, Mahakasha. But when the Ghata breaks, what happens? Does the Ghatakasha merge with the Mahakasha? No, it is Mahakasha. There is no difference. The framework is simple. And another very beautiful example Shankaracharya gives. When you understand Agni, ātmatattva is heat. Ātmatattva is heat. It is there pervading everywhere. Sarvavyapi. It is there inside the Sharira, outside the Sharira, everywhere it is there. Ātmatattva. But you don't see it, you don't feel it, you don't sense it. But suppose you light a wick lamp. You put oil in that, you lamp a light with the wick. There's a flame, which you recognize as Agni. And you recognize one Agni, another Agni, another Agni, another Agni. Then you sing a song, Jyot se Jyot Jagate Chalo. Different Jyot. Now, when the oil runs out, the flame goes off. The flame dies. An individual flame has died. There is no individual flame. It is only because of the instrumentality of the Upadhi. It is the same as ātmatattva, which have been given an individuality by a wick and oil. Beautiful example. And when that wick burns out or the oil runs out, that flame is the same as ātmatattva. That when the jnani parantakale parimuchyanti, that limitations imposed by the various upadhi instrumentality is no more available, no more there. And this you have to do mentally. You only have to separate the upadhi from the vastu through understanding. There is nothing else required. I am this individual is like saying, I am this flame. So when you can mentally separate that individuality created by the upadhi and recognize that you are ātmatattva, that flame will have no complaint. Otherwise, a small oil wick light might look at a conflagration and say, oh, it's so small. Look at that, it's so big. And that big one might look and say, oh, this beautiful little thing is in front of Ishvara. I'm burning in the mountains. He has his own complaint. But when they understand that the Agni Tattva is the same, there are no more complaints. This separation has to be done through understanding only. All these three questions that that were raised as a result of the words used in the previous verse. They're all answered. Those of you who have some knowledge of Sanskritam, I recommend please read the Bhashyam. On the side, there is also the Hindi translation. So if you know Hindi, you can also get some help by reading the translation. With these two verses, we can say, I finished one real section. You will see what else this Upanishad says. There are still, they've only done about four verses. There's still another 14 verses to go. Everything is there answered already. So what does it say? We will look at it in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om